Oh, my ear is just falling off. Hello. So today I wanted to talk to you about primers, the different types that you can buy, what they do, why they're good, why they work. Because as Nikki Tutorials knows, not to prime is a crime. So don't do it, yeah? Right. Let's get on with the video. And then also just kind of backtrack a little bit. Why use a primer? Well, it's going to give you a more even base to work with. So after you've done all of your moisturising, after you've applied your SPF, after you've taken the final step in your skincare, then comes the primer. So this kind of bridges the gap between skincare and makeup. And some primers even have a little bit of colour in them, so that's going to help to even out your complexion, meaning that you could actually wear just a primer when you go out and about day to day, if that was your thing. The other reason people wear primers is to help their makeup to last longer. So, for example, big events like weddings, primer is essential for helping your makeup to go the distance. Um, Also, if you get very oily, so if you've got oily or combination skin, so you tend to get oily in certain areas, usually through the T-zone, then using a primer can also help to control that oil depending on the type of primer that you use. So to begin with, one primer that I reach for time after time is Porefessionals by Benefit. It's an oldie but a goodie. It's a really kind of bouncy, quite thick primer. And the reason this is good is that it's excellent at filling in any pores, sort of if you've got any deep pores or any scarring. So I often use it on my scarring just to kind of try and even out the skin texture as best as possible. So obviously if you also have, if you have something like acne scarring, a product like this will be a really good choice for you. It's not too expensive either. I think it's quite reasonably priced for what it is. They have brought out a Hydra kind of hydration version of this, but I haven't actually heard great things about that, so I think I'm going to stick with the original. So that's the Benefit one. So that was the Porefessional one, highly recommend. A slightly different type of primer is this Law by Guerlain, which is very beautiful. Quite a bougie little primer, this one. I got this one when I was last in Harrods, which feels like a million years ago now. It does last for ages. It contains pure gold. It's a very thin texture, so this is kind of less about pore filling, more about kind of makeup longevity, helping your makeup to go the distance, rather than kind of actively pore filling, fine line, wrinkles filling, which something like the Porefessional that's a bit bouncier is going to do a better job of. But it's a very nice product. It's very dressing table friendly. It's very nice to look at, and it smells nice. It's very expensive. I think it's around the £70 mark. I think I need to double check that, but yeah. So that was that one. Next up, we have got the Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enriched Face Base. Now, this really had a moment a while back when Jeffree Star was using it all the time, and I think Tati also used it, Glam Life Guru. I really like it because it smells like oranges, which I personally love the smell of. If you're not a fan of really intense fragrance, then this one might not be for you. But I personally, I love it, and it contains shea butter, vitamins C and E, so you're really getting your skincare benefits. If you're kind of normal to combo skin, you could also use this as your moisturiser, so it's effectively at least two products in one. So it's going to moisturise your skin lightly, and then it's also going to prime your face ready for makeup. So I'm a big fan of this product. I got this when I was working at Bobbi quite a while ago now, quite a few months ago now, and I've been hooked ever since. So I really recommend that one. Next up, let's go for something a little bit different. So this one is by Paul and Joe, Mage Dressing Table Appeal. Isn't it pretty? This is, I think this was like a tester, so I think this is like a mini size, but it's lovely. It's a protecting foundation primer. It has SPF in it. This bottle's 15ml, by the way. and it has an SPF of 42, which is great because obviously you can skip your usual SPF part of your regime, and then you can replace it with your primer. So again, you're getting 2 products in one. The thing with this one, it smells so delicious. You can smell the SPF, but if I just hold this up to the camera, you can see that it has got a little bit of colour to it. And for this reason, I'm just going to rub it in so you can see what I mean. It does leave a slightly pinky, I'd say sort of like a pinky pearlised finish, which on fairer skin tones is absolutely fine and actually quite nice under makeup, depending on the finish that you're looking for, of course. But I would say if anything like an Asian skin, black skin were to use this, it could make you look a little bit ashy, so I'd just be aware of that. Obviously, if you're going to go in with a really thick foundation afterwards, full coverage foundation, then that's fine, but just be wary of it if you're not. I'm not sure if they've got other shades. I think they're all quite light, typically, this brand, which obviously isn't amazing, not great. But, you know, the packaging is gorgeous. It would make a lovely present for somebody, because people always need a primer. It's quite a fail-safe, in my opinion, present for somebody. What else have we got here? Ooh, this one's lovely. So this is by Tatcha. Can you see that? Just about. Sorry, my light's a bit rubbish today. This is called the Silk Canvas Primer. So lovely as a product. I'm a really big fan of this, as you will see in a moment, because I've hit pan, people. I've hit pan. It smells like the most delicious lemon meringue pie, which is a personal favourite. And it's called Silk for a reason. It goes on super smoothly. It sort of fills in any little bits that you want to fill in. It's just an addictive fragrance. It's so nice. This is kind of a cross between something that's more of a liquid and something that's a bit bouncier, like the Porefessionals. It kind of feels a little bit cooling when it goes on, which I personally really like, because I think anything cooling on the face is good for reducing puffiness, any kind of inflammation. I just really like it. I can't say nice enough things about it. This is just a mini size that I picked up. This is 6ml that I picked up from Sephora when I was in, God, I can't remember now, probably New York the last time. And I picked this up and I would definitely repurchase. I think it's brilliant. It's kind of similar to the Tarte primer. I can't remember what it's called. It's in a little glass pot and it's got a gold lid, and it's a very similar sort of putty style primer, which I just ran out of and I've thrown away. But that is another equally, you know, that's the real kind of like thick, I'm going to fill in every single pore on your face, you're going to look flawless. If you've got any imperfections, it's just going to even everything out. So I do really, really like that one. Both of them actually. Sorry, I haven't got the packaging here to show you. And then finally, what I have is the Becca, what's it called? It's a really long name. First Light Priming Filter Instant Complexion Refresh. This one is lovely. Very, very thin texture. It's purple, which sounds weird, but it does kind of blend in. It doesn't make you look purple, thankfully. I'll show you again on the back of my hand. It gives you a bit of a glow. It's kind of more of a lilac, to be fair. I'm being a bit dramatic saying purple, but you can see that. And it just kind of, I've put quite a lot on there, you don't really need that much. It again gives you a little bit of a glow underneath your makeup. Smells divine. And yeah, it's just going to smooth out your base. It's not going to fill every pore, I wouldn't say. I think typically we get pores sort of around our nose, sometimes on the forehead, definitely on the chin. So sometimes I'll use more than one primer. Sometimes I'll use something that's a bit thinner, like the Guerlain or like the Becca. I'll use those first, and then I'll follow up with something that's going to fill pores around my nose, on my forehead, anywhere that I need, the scarring of course. I'm sorry. So anywhere that I need a bit of extra help. When it comes to applying the primers, you can use a brush for the sort of thinner, looser formulas, Do you have to? No. I personally like using my hands because I can really start to feel where I need to fill in. And I just think it helps the product to kind of melt into the skin a little bit better, but everybody's different. You know, equally you could use like a little brush like that, a synthetic, maybe a bit bigger than that, sort of foundation brush, but again, it's not necessary. So yeah, one more thing that you can do is, this is by Becca, this is Becca Skin Loves, and this is a glow prime and set mist. So you can actually prime using sprays. Do I think they work as effectively as other formulas? Personally, no. I'd say if you're working with a model or somebody who's quite young, sure, something like this will get the job done. It's just going to help your makeup to kind of adhere to that base a little bit better. But I would say, you know, they're very nice to use, like you can use them throughout the day. And they just kind of help give you, oof, that was quite a lot. They just help give you a little bit more of a glow, as you can see, keep the face hydrated. If you're inside all the time, which aren't we all, sometimes things like heating, not getting enough fresh air, can start to give you a bit of a dull looking complexion. So priming mist like this, or just any kind of setting mist, can really help boost that hydration, give you that kind of plump, juicy looking skin. So that is it from me in terms of primers. If you have any questions about them, how they work, which ones might work for you, then please don't hesitate to get in touch. As always, just drop me a message on Instagram and I will get back to you. Thanks everyone, take care, have a really good day, bye.